Hey, what's happening all? So, must-have rudiments that no book teaches you. Now, what am I going on about there? Well, what I'm talking about is the concept that a lot of drum teachers, a lot of drum books, a lot of educational resources teach you the basic rudiments. And they might teach you the 40 PS rudiments, or they might teach you their favourite 10 rudiments of the 40 that they kind of think works well on drum kit. Then maybe guys that would teach you 100 rudiments. They might go in all the hybrid rudiments, all right? But what is often forgotten is the rudiments predominantly came from a marching background, okay? Now, on drum kit, they're amazing, right? They're great because they work on drum kit. But what you have to do is go through the process of figuring out how to make something that works on one noise, one pattern, one practice pattern, one snare drum, and putting it onto the drums. Now, for drum kit, I would argue that that the stuff I'm going to show you today is almost more applicable than some of those rudiments. And I know a lot. I know a lot about rudiments, right? I've done drum corps. I've marched DCI. Done all sorts of stuff to do with rudiments, and yet I still even now I found myself playing things like what we're going to talk about today, the 5s, the 7s, and the 3s, probably more than those rudiments. And so the first pattern we're going to talk about then is the 5s, and the 5s, I've got two variations that I see people playing it, or that I use. If we think of 5 notes on the drums, we're going to go right, left, right, left, left, and that's going to give us this pattern. Now, on just a snare drum, it's pointless. I may as well play it with 2 hands, or even 1. Right, because there's no tune to it, right? The only way we get a tune or a melody going is we put accents and taps in there. So I'm going to play the right's loud, left's quiet. Then we get some sort of tune. Now, I've got toms here. They've got a lot more tune than my snare has, so let's start to use those. Maybe add some kick drums in there with some ride cymbals. So let me start to get the idea of this 5s rudiment. Now, it's got no official name, right? There is no name for the 5s pattern, right? Maybe there should be. But as I mentioned before, there's 2 variations of that one, right? That's the first one. Let's call that A, right? So version A, quite usable. That's not the one I'm going to go in depth with today, right? Version B, what we get is our 5 notes. We get right, left, right, right, left this time. So the pattern, right, left, right, right, left. Again, right slide, left's quiet. At the moment then, we've got no relation to time, have we? I'm just getting you to play right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. So we've got to put them into some sort of time signature. Now, what we're going to do, we could put them into 3s, 5s, 6s, whatever we want. We're going to put them into 4s today, and the format I'm talking about here is 16th notes. So the equivalent of 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. So a fill of like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a back out. But we're going to play that pattern, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, right, left. Now, 5s don't fit into 16th notes very well because 3 times 5 is 15, so there's 1 extra note at the end. So that means we're going to end up playing 3 lots of B, let's call them, 3 lots of the Bs, with 1 extra note at the end, and then back to the 1. So we get this. So I hope you can figure out at the end, I'm just doing a right hand here and a left hand to come out. Now that is the 1, all right? So I'd have to start the groove. Right, but I can hit other things, right? There's no rules on what I play. Let's do this with a metronome so I know that you've 100% got this. So if I put my metronome on now,
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4
that's 100 beats a
and 1
minute,
and
so
2 and 3
and a 40 and a bit
1
quick,
and
bit
2
fast,
and
but I'll
3
try it.
and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 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 and 2 and 3 and.
So what do I do at the end? All I'm doing, I'm playing the same pattern on my ride cymbal or hi-hat or whatever surface I want. I'm back out, but I'm putting bass drums every time I hit a right hand. And 2 at the end. There's no rules about how I come out. That one at the end, I purposely went right, so you could see that. But obviously, as I mentioned earlier, I like to come out with my left hand on those. Okay, so that's the basics of what's going on there. Now, to learn that, there's 2 methods, right? You either put a metronome on, and it's counting 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander. You just lock in with that and get used to finding the one, let's call it, all right? Where you just, it's not luck, is it? But you start to get used to where those downbeats are, right? Or 2, if like me, you really need to go in deep on this stuff to understand it, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to learn it as 4 chunks of 16th notes, as in the first part being 1 E-ander, and then learning the second part as 2 E-ander, and the third part is 3 E-ander, and the fourth part is 4 E-ander, 1. So that would be something like 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander, 1, and look like that. If you look at this notation, you think of it split into 4 chunks, that's what I'm talking about. Now for me, the way that I test myself if I've got this stuff is I play my hi-hat with it. If I can keep quarter notes from my hi-hat, or 8th notes from my hi-hat, that means I've got it. Okay, so let's take this a little bit further then to give you a little bit more noise. So what did I play at the very start in that very first pattern that I did? I didn't play that, did I? Right, because I started my left hand. So all I did was I played exactly the same pattern, dak, 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 but I put a left hand before it. Now, when I say before it, what I did was if this is the first 4 notes, I didn't put it before it like this. What I did was I pushed them all across by 1 note and then put it at the start. So what that then means is instead of going 1 E-ander at the start, I've got 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander, and that way. So slowly, if I do that with the metronome.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and.
Now it's a little bit like taking that last note that was at the end before and just moving it to the start. Now we can go, if we think of those 5 notes, right, left, left, we can start from any one of those. So I can start with a double right if I wanted to. So I go. I can start with a second left. And so it gives you endless combinations of things you can come up with as long as you can figure out where the 1 is all the way to the next time you play a 1 and you can keep that hand pattern going. There's all sorts of things you can do. One of the things that I'd like to show you then to kind of wrap this stuff up, if you take that across 2 bars, so you've got to figure out 5s into 32 now. 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander, 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander. It comes out nicely, but it means that we can use this 32nd note fill. I shook my head then because I think I messed that one up. Right, let's do it a little bit faster. Let's do it with the metronome. Let's get you doing this. I'm going to use that. A little bit off the pace, all right? Now I can hear myself going off. How do you go about fixing that? Well, what I do is I now double the speed of this, so it's going up to 140. That means these little do woodpecker sounds are going to be real fast, but I'm going to lock in with those on 32nd notes. Now, another effective method of trying to practice that so you can really hear if you're in or out is if I put my left hands on the floor tom here, that's a similar sound to my kick drum, so I'll really be able to hear them between these two if I've got it spot on or not. Yeah, I could do with a bit of work in all honesty, right? But it's not far off, is it? So what I've done in the very first example then, I've done exactly the same thing as that, but I put a left before it. So as I said, these ideas, these concepts of playing fives, there's also the same for sevens. We'd get something like this, bam, 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 bam. And we'd also get the same for threes, where we're just going ba da da 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 ba. Eventually you can mix and match all those different rudiments, okay? So don't go thinking now you don't have to do rudiments, right? I definitely don't want to give that message across. But what I want you to try and think about is, in addition to rudiments, we've also got all of these groupings and notes. And for fives, we've got two different versions. We've got this. And this. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Hope you got something from that. If you do like these lessons and you want me to do more, as always, I'll ask the same thing. Please subscribe, hit the little bell button if you're watching this on YouTube. If you've got anything you'd like me to look at, stick it in the comments. If there's anything you've not understood in this lesson, stick it in the comments. And I hope to see you all again next time. Thanks for watching. See you soon.